Hey, I know that there are a number of you on YouTube, and I think people tend to be more comfortable joining via YouTube than live here. What I am going to do as it is uh, still before the time, I'll just say hello here. I'll let anyone else gather on YouTube. Um, and then I'm going to give my little talk on three really important things. And then we will do our meditation. Okay, Michelle is coming in just now. Hello, Michelle. You are muted right now, plus there's no visual. So, which is all fine, in fact, for the next little bit, because I'm going to be taking the space to talk. And then I'd love to share.
Hold on a minute, I have to.
I can't hear you. You'll have to speak up a little.
I was having some Zoom problems.
Ah, well, at least all our internets are working, and that is really good. And I think I finally mastered the technology because I know it is streaming live on YouTube. Whoa! I
No
can't
one
believe
comes on Zoom.
no, but we're active on Zoom and it's streaming live so people can listen if what they prefer to do. I think it's just a lot easier for many people to be listening because here they know, okay, one person is joining us, Val, who's been a long time on, but it's been off somewhere. Because here it's going to be broadcast. And so not everybody is comfortable with that. So I'll just wait for Val to get on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take hello, Valerie. And
Hi.
I am going to, Valerie, I'm going to ask in the next minute or so. Yes, but just say hello, Valerie. Great to see you again. And well, I'm not really seeing you, I'm seeing your thumb. It's gorgeous. It's just absolutely amazing. Okay. Yeah, and I see there's a smiling person in the background, looks a bit more like Valerie than her thumb. Okay, hello, Valerie. Okay, well, good to see you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask both of you, or actually, I'm going to mute both of you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my little 10-minute talk on 3 points I think we should all know, because I think they're so important and they really link together. And then if you like, you can comment on them or you can have further thoughts. And then, but I don't want to spend much time on that. I want to do the meditation. And if we do talking, it'll be at the end so that people who just want the talk and the meditation will get those. And then we can have ideas on what's been going on. So I'm going to mute the two of you, and you know, most of you, I have to start things on time, so I'm going to do that right now. Valerie's mute, and now Michelle is mute, and now I'm going to just put speaker view, which will be me, and I'm going to push the record button. All right, record. Okay, hello, this is Elsa with meditation for Reiner, Ed Wakerman, and anyone else you want to add, and for some thoughts, which I think, in fact, are big, important thoughts for all of us. Last week, I spoke about what I see as a major sting. This week, I went from that to going, aha, the law of perception is so important here. And then what's also important is that the Joker is a wire. How does that work? Okay. None of us was expecting what happened in court, that all the witnesses for the prosecution were on, all their rambling and whatever it is. Then Reiner got a couple of days, and then it was like, whoa, well, we don't need the rest of your witnesses because bingo, there is a case law which we didn't bother bringing out when we were doing all our stuff and taking all the space. But now you've had 2 days, you don't need any more witnesses. Here's the case law. You're guilty. And I thought of the movie The Sting, which if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It's like things get reversed and things get reversed again and things get reversed again. And a really important thing in terms of a sting is that a sting is planned. It isn't random. Oh, I just thought of this case law. Before they started this, they had the case law in place. And I will say, as we found out after we found out about the case law, we found out that Reiner, as opposed to being allowed to have his birthday celebration in his cell, he was strip searched when he got back to the jail due to a supposed anonymous tip that he had an illegal cell on him, which he did not, nor was it in his room, who would have expected it to be. But this was used to keep him away from his cell, away from that wing, and away from being able to listen to the planned birthday celebrations outside. Quite a birthday weekend. That a sting is planned, and a sting can have step after step after step. If you watch the movie Sting, you'll see that things get reversed. It's not only one side that's been planning, and then you find that the other side has actually been planning more. In the case with us, my experience of us is that we do not do most of the planning. If the predators knew, as I have no reason to doubt, that there would be a World War I, II, and III during the 20th and 21st centuries, most of us didn't have a clue that these were engineered. Those of us who are waking up now. So we don't have those hundreds of years of lead time, thousands of years, Babylonian times. So they have had way more time to prepare their stings, including the chemtrail sting, including the pandemic sting, one sting after another against us. So what have we got? Well, maybe there are some of us planning things in secret. And okay, I can't answer about that. But I'm going to bring up two other things. I said the law of perception. The people who have been doing the sting have also been behind, it's my guess, this whole thing on the law of attraction. Everyone's supposed to care about the law of attraction, attract things, visualize what you want and bring it to you. I wrote a few months ago that the first law is the law of perception. You have to know what's going on. You have to know what you'll trip over. You have to know what's dangerous around. Are there lions and tigers in the way of that, whatever it is you want to head for? You've got to be able to perceive. So I was saying the law of perception is primary, and that in fact echoed with someone's writing that I have long appreciated. Forget the name right now, but it's the 12 rules for survival, and rule 1 is perceive and believe. And he found that the people who survived in extreme situations, they all had rule 1. They looked around, they saw the plane has crashed in the Andes. There's snow outside. I'm the only survivor. They believed it. I think actually it's a little more complex for us. We can't just perceive something and immediately believe, because so much is false that it's sent to us. So it's perceive and then explore and validate and check out. But in the end, it's really important we get to believe and recognize that what is going on. I don't mean the law of attraction is unimportant. I just think it's not the primary law. Then of course you want to head where you want to go. You want to bring it to you, but there are lots of other laws in the way. And if we haven't been taught about the law of perception, I think it's because the law of perception tremendously benefits us. What people like Reiner have been doing, it's law of perception. There is a pandemic. Perceive it. There are predators. There's a predator elite. See it. So people like David Icke, Reiner, a bunch of others, the names are not coming to me. They're working precisely on the law of perception and in getting us to perceive too. I see that one of the big important things Reiner is doing is helping us perceive. And in fact, in prison, he's helping us perceive the incredible prevalence of low-level predators all around, that most of the people around him were in the predator cohort, not important people, very, very minor. Okay, so that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. And the third thing I wanted to say is the Joker is wild. Why do I care about that? It's because the sting depends on the absence of jokers. The sting is meticulously planned, maybe hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands. It's laid out in detail. If somebody had seen about the case law, this last sting would not have gone quite as well, but I think they had that plan too. They're very meticulous in the things they do. The pandemic, everything was not rigid, but so much was planned. For example, in India, no one under 15 got injected. So it wasn't entirely rigid. Sweden didn't go along with the lockdowns. Then it went along with the injections. So it's not that they control absolutely everything. The wild cards are incredibly important. Sometimes the wild cards get, killed. For example, in Africa, 3 leaders went against the injections. All 3 leaders happened to die mysteriously, suddenly, at 64, 46, I can't remember the ages, and I can't remember the third one. Anyhow, boom, I think or maybe the third one was in Haiti, I can't remember where he was. Anyhow, 3 of them were against the injections, 3 of them presto dead, and the next day in came the injections and a leader who was in favor of them. So there are wild cards, and they try to take care of the wild cards. But that is, I think, an incredible weakness. All these whistleblowers are wild cards. We humans, insofar as we are not wild, as we are not mind controlled, are wild cards. We have things like empathy and a conscience. So someone works at Boeing for years, and then 2 people speak out, and both soon end up dead. So it's not, so good being a wild card or a joker, or it's not entirely safe at all. But I think people have such a conscience. People have so much empathy. The more we're wild and free, and the more we care, the more we're likely to be wild cards in various different ways. And I think that is incredibly important. They count on the destruction of our wild card nature. Because as far as I know from my reading, they feed on us. And I've got another way that we can be wild cards. Things that put us into a non-anxious state, non-fearful, still perceiving. It's not that we don't perceive, but that we both perceive and do it from a calm, inner reassurance place. I think about the German pastor who was killed not long before the end of World War II. He had perceived and he had acted. I don't know if he was in a panic at the end. He died anyhow. But he had done all kinds of speaking out. So my thought is that we wildcards do not always win in our lifetime. There is something incredibly powerful about us. I don't even know how many wars have been averted by wild cards. I don't know to what extent, if any, Trump has been or is a wild card, or was and is no longer. I think people can also be partial wild cards. To me, so anyhow, those are the 3 things I wanted to talk about. How there is a sting against humans, humankind, natural life. How it's really important to perceive that. and then to see how we can best be the wild cards. And one of it is by connecting with it, us, each other. I think also the meditations we do are wild card. This energy we send, this good, healthy energy, is wild card energy. So with that, I'm going to end this, and I'm going to, in a moment or two, we'll move on to doing these meditations. But before that, I will welcome in people who have been patiently waiting here, and then we will together move towards the meditation. I've recorded myself, but I don't want to record the meditation, or maybe I will go on to recording the meditation. But before that, I'm going to put you on the screen, gallery screen. And so I will check with you if it's okay if we record the meditation. I knew I was fine recording myself, but I will check with Michelle and with Valerie. Is it okay if we record the meditation? First of all, Michelle, because you've been a regular.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Valerie, is it okay if we record the meditation? Okay, then I'm going to push the record button again. I would like to talk about what I have said, but I really want, because that sometimes can flow on longer. I want us to do the meditation, and it's got two parts. The first, so I'll just push the button so I'm recording. First of all, Valerie, okay. Well, actually, there's no speaking right now, so you have to stay mute because I know about your dragging chains on across the floor. Yeah, I don't know if they're still there, but if they are, much better if you are mute until we're all talking. Okay, the meditation. This is the Elsa, Michelle, and Val for the meditation for Reiner, Ed Wakerman, and anyone else you want to add. I will in a moment ask the two of you to unmute in terms of who would you like to see in the center. And in terms of the meditation, I'll just introduce it. Two parts. The first is from Spring Forest Qigong, really good Qigong practice. And they did a 36 breath meditation, which is meant they did it one person to another for healing. I just taking the same meditation and doing more than one person to another as we do it to whoever we see in the center. And it's got 3 parts, 9 breaths of giving good energy, 9 breaths to breaking up whatever is hurting these people. If it's an illness, if there are bad people around, if there's inner fears. And then 9 breaths of let's get rid of all these bad influences. And then 9 breaths of sending good energy, so that if someone who, like Ed Wakerman, is quite ill, then we just give good, healthy energy. If someone like Reiner has really nasty influences around him, we send him good energy. And before that, we've gone like, get away, you creeps. And then the last 5 minutes is going to be either prayer or meditation. Some people feel more comfortable with prayer. Some people feel more comfortable with meditation. It's just going to be a silent prayer or meditation, whatever works best for you. Mine is very close to the Spring Forest Qigong. Many other people just meditate on the flame. However is right for you. Most of us have done prayer, meditation. Most of us have done both. So what I will do now before starting, I'll just ask, who do you see at the center? So I see Reiner in part, who's had this massive sting directed at him. So that's part. And I also see Ed Wakerman, who has also had a sting directed at him. In his case, being picked up for a crime he could not possibly have committed and getting more and more sick in prison. And having only a court-appointed lawyer. So I see Ed also in the center. So those are the 2 people I see in the center. Michelle, who or what do you see in the center?
Well, today I just want to focus on Reiner because of what happened to him last weekend. was absolutely absurd. Like that should never have happened. They should be forced to release him after that because they totally violated his civil rights.
Absolutely. And you, Valerie?
Um, I also see the persecuted medical profession within the group. Reiner did such a lot of good work to try to point out that our ethical doctors are at this moment in time being persecuted. And I'm thinking of Dr. Trozy, Mark Trozy, Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Rohania Killian, Dr. Mark Phillips, many of the nurses who lost their jobs during this time. That whole grouping is also in my mind as being massively persecuted at this moment in time, along with Reiner and Ed's persecution in terms of that's such a huge lie, considering all the evidence that indicates that there's a group which is much more nefarious, is causing these problems. Anyway, we're working against evil here for sure. And it is a massive evil that's quite out of place and really needs to go off where it belongs, which is not with us. Yeah.
So in the center will be Reiner, Ed Wakeman, and this whole medical profession, which is incredibly wrong, evil done to it, licenses lost, and so on, and threatened in so many ways. So visualize them in the center. Many of you will be watching this on replay. So those are those at the center. If you're watching it on replay, add anyone you like at the center. And the thing is, a meditation has the power in the any time that you play it. Like the group meditation, the energy is there and you add your energy to it. So I will now start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start, but I will not count the 9 breaths 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll just say, now we're going to send 9 breaths of good, strong, healthy energy. And then I'll do 9 breaths. And whatever you get to at the end, if it's 7 or 12, it's all fine. This is not an exact thing. It's just that in the Eastern traditions, the numbers 3 and 9 are used a lot. And so I think that's why it was the 9. But if you give it a little extra energy or slightly less, I think it's all good. So we'll start. I tend to hold my hands. And by the way, the energy is not ours. I'm not sending my energy. So at the end, I'm dragged to be picked off the floor because I've sent all my energy. The energy comes in. For me, it comes in from the sky through my heart, out. Other people prefer to pick it up from the ground and the earth, and they find earth energy is stronger. I've tried earth energy. I'm not an earth person this way. I am a sky person. So you pick it up any way that's, and by the way, for those of you from a Christian background, there's so many paintings of Jesus with a hand on his heart and another hand holding out. That's an energy movement. It's one hand pulling energy into the heart, the other hand sending this energy out. And he was an incredible healer. So this is the tradition we're tapping into. I don't use one hand that way. I tend to pull energy in and send it out. So pick your own way. So I'm going to start now with 9 breaths, sending energy to Reiner, to Ed, to the entire medical profession that is ethical and caring and on the side of the patients. And you can add anyone else you like. So I'm going to start it with the 9 breaths. That's the nine breaths. And then it's breaking up the bad energy. All the way Reiner has said he can feel energy coming up. And considering that he's had thousands of people sending energy, I am not surprised he can feel it. So next one is break up and keep going to break up something, you use sword fingers. And that's just sending energy as opposed to benignly just sending it. That's like, no, there's bad stuff, let's break it up. So breaking up bad stuff, bad energy. That has been my best for me. It's just this energy is in shards, it's on the ground, it's broken. You don't want it to go back into people. You want to sweep it out. It's like a cloud, it's a boom, or whatever. You want to dissipate this into the universe and let the universe will take care of it. So getting rid of bad energy. It's the nine breaths for me, and as I clear it off, it's now 9 breaths of good, clean, strong, healthy energy, the best energy for me. Oh, by the way, yes, Reiner needs it. And as for Ed, he's been through a really hard time physically. So, and so many people. So anyone you want in the center, yeah, the universe has piles of energy. Let's just direct. Okay, that has been 9 breaths here. Now, do you prefer prayer or you prefer meditation or whatever meditation technique you prefer? You prefer to meditate on a candle or whatever. But this is focused meditation, focused prayer. This is on Reiner and medical profession and anyone else who want to receive it. So I'm just going to go put the timer and I'll do that. Otherwise, I cannot meditate. I'm so focused on how long have I taken, how long is it, am I going too long? So this lets me relax. I'm pushing start. And so, in whatever way is best for you, send strong, healthy, also loving energy. By the way, I think loving energy is utterly against health. So thank you for being here, either right here on Zoom or in that larger world of YouTube or in that even larger world of replays. May this, if it's a replay, be a good backbone for you. That for many people, it's easier to meditate along than to do it on their own. Other people just want to do it on their own, in which case they're not watching. So however you do it. By the way, it's not only Reiner said he can feel energy. Ed has written me and was like a day or so after one of the Sunday meditations that he said he had felt lots of good energy coming at him. So he thought it had to be from me or us. And I think, so it wasn't a lot of us, but we were all, he was one of the 2 or 3 people at the center receiving it. So I think that, we have more power than is often credited to us. We can't spirit Reiner out of prison, but spiritually or emotionally, both, it can do a lot. And now I'm going to push the stop button. Okay. At this point, I want to turn it on to thoughts and questions. How do you feel about my recording this? Do you prefer it private or is it okay to record? Michelle.
It's fine. You can have it wherever
Okay.
you want.
Then Valerie, is it fine to record or you prefer it private?
It was all right. Yeah.
Okay,
Was
then I will
thinking-
record this. It's okay to record this as well, our discussion?
Yes, of course. Yes.
It's not for everybody, and I am going with, it's most important that the people who are here are comfortable. The people watching on YouTube, they get a chance to watch. Of course, because that's the deal. But it's like I wouldn't broadcast it to everyone unless I had permission. So I'm going to push record again. Record here. Okay, I have 3 ideas in general. And that is that we are in the midst of an incredible sting, something planned against us, a sting, as in, you go to a restaurant, you think it's all fine, and then you find out the waiter is and you make sure all of these are on a scam and they steal your bank account, whatever. And now it's stealing our world. That's the first thing. The second thing was that we need to perceive that the law of perception is absolutely crucial. And that Reiner, in fact, is incredibly important in terms of perception. Ed Weckerman is taught because the powers that be don't want perception. They don't want fire to be seen as unnatural. So they get a scapegoat, and then people don't ask any questions. Oh, right, him, da 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 da. If nobody has been found, it's easier to have questions. So again, the law of perception is so important. All these medical professionals who are targeted, they are perceiving, and they are targeted because they perceive, and they want the narrative to hold, so they want to punish as many people as possible. And the third thing is the Joker is wild. Which medical professionals would speak out? They would know some would do it. But which ones? And what would they do? Charles Hough with his D-dimer tests, showing that over 50% of the people tested had elevated rates of something proving they had micro blood clotting. That couldn't be predicted. So all these little things that Dr. Trotzy would leave being a doctor to speak out, that's the Joker is wild. That it would be Reiner, but if you look at Reiner's life, it's prepared him for speaking out. But that what he would do and what his evolution would be, that's, to me, I believe that's the Joker is wild. But he is already prepared as a Joker. But what he would do with it. So those are my 3 thoughts. So I'm going to throw it to you. I've already given you my thoughts. Michelle, what do you think about that? And Val, what do you think about that? Whoever wants to speak.
I'm already I'm unmuted. Yeah. I'm just thinking about angels and the release of people from prisons. I wish it could be so once again. yeah. How do you feel about it, Elsa? Like it seems like an unjust situation is ongoing, and I sure would like a lot of the imprisoned to be released. Um, it's just a wish. It's a wish. How does it come into being? Um, I don't know. I'm so clueless and so far away. Like, don't you feel we've sent energy in the direction, but we don't know how it's going to manifest at all. It's such a mystery. Yeah.
I'm on next step believer. I believe you just take a step you can. When I learned this spring forest qigong, I just thought about it using it right where I was. I had to be with somebody. And then a friend was in Montreal and had a really terrible back. So anyhow, I did my spring forest qigong on him, and he was about 100 miles away. It worked. It worked so well that he woke up the next morning thinking he was paralyzed because he had no back pain at all. And he'd had such terrible back pain, he could barely stand up with a walker. Now he was lying there in bed, no pain. I must be paralyzed. That's the only explanation. No. Then he sort of told himself that he had done it to himself, which is fine, So it wasn't Elsa. It was, his self-suggestion. I don't care what it was. And he said after about 15 minutes, he got a little pain. So he knew he wasn't paralyzed, whatever. But he was able to go to the bathroom without a walker. Now, that was just taking the next step. So, and then I've gone, maybe that same thing will work larger scale. So I don't know what the outcome will be. And I'd love to be able to just spirit him away out of prison. I don't have a sense that I or we at this point can do that, or we would have done that, because I know that there are thousands of people who would whoosh him out of prison if we could. But I am just, if we take the next step, then there will be another next step. Like I would never have thought about that I could do it to Montreal. And then I had a friend in England, but it made her go to sleep too long. She'd do that and was like, what are you doing, Elsa? I've just got to go lie down and sleep. So that's thousands of miles. How can I do that into a specific person? Was she just imagining? I don't think so. I think it really worked. So, so I am that we get more powerful as we try it. I also know when I learned about energy, I would have been embarrassed doing this in public, but I did sword fingers, get rid of the bad energy. Now it was like, if you think it's weird, go right ahead. Because frankly, I also think it's weird, but I also believe it works. So that's my thing. I don't have the answer, Val. I just know if we take the next step, there will be a next step. And I think that's extra important right now where the powers that be have this huge, massive, well-planned sting happening. And then we are wild cards nibbling at Ed Wakerman, who was supposed to be this natural. He's totally easy, yeah, easy peasy. He's a total nobody. Oh, God. By the way, there's going to be a fundraiser for him. That's a next step. Somebody in the United States and I were doing a fundraiser for him. American and Canadian people can donate in their currency. And so that's a next step. Will it do anything? We don't know, but we know it's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to you, right?
Oh yeah, I'm still on mute. Are my chains coming through? Or is it?
No, today you left your chains.
Isn't it wonderful? Yeah, no, I've got a new computer.
Oh, yay. No
Yeah,
chains.
the chains are gone.
Every time she put her sound on, it went like this is something
Yeah.
that's dragging chains across the dungeon.
Yeah, I needed a new computer, so I've got one. But I've lost a lot of contacts. Like I've even lost you from the signal else. I've like getting a new device, you lose a lot, right? Because you have to reset it. up the way it was before. So things have gone missing, but they'll come back slowly. I'll keep making. I've lost you. Now I have to find you. Where are you? How do I get you back? Yeah, so it's coming. But like you say, next step. Everything has the next little step. Your philosophy is a good one. Little baby steps toward a goal make a difference in the long run. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a Mother's Day thing to go to, so I'm gonna have to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Mother's Day event. It's I'm glad you're honoring your mom. That's lovely. It's
Just pick her up
wonderful.
from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Good karma to you in your time.
Thank you, Michelle, for making the time to come here for this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want Reiner to be free and not to have his rights violated like last weekend. That can't happen again.
Yeah. It is happening though. I'm perceiving that the claws that are around the people that are special are really doing their best to stop things. But like letters and postcards, what we're doing makes a difference somehow. It all adds up in the long run. Have to have a trust towards that.
Well,
Yeah.
Anne sends a big thank you, and you are one of the people he's thanked about.
Oh,
I'm posting, I've just started doing it and I'll be posting it tomorrow. I
oh,
took
neat.
out everyone's family name because some people might not want, because you're too
Okay.
revealed with both names. So I just,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
anyway, goodbye, Michelle.
Bye.
Hi,
And
Michelle. Blessings.
yeah, blessings and take care. And I'm going to end this right here. Okay, anyway, good to see you, Valerie, because it's been
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here, and I thought your opportunity to get together for this was really lovely. Um, you are a mother, Elsa, in your own right. You mother others, and so well. Blessings to you. You've been such an important person in my world, in others' worlds. Yeah, I think you've done miracles. I do. Yeah,
Wow, thank you. I do have a caretaking urge, a mother
yeah,
urge, as you say it. And it's found that people who are teachers have fewer children than just about any other group. And it's going, well, of course, we give it the office,
yeah.
because a good teacher mothers.
Yes,
It's
yes.
kindergartens or universities, because you take
Mhm.
people in and you don't just dispense information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. No,
give
you've made quite your mark on the face of the earth, whether you know it or not.
oh,
It's very,
wonderful.
what a blessing.
Thank you very much. I should have recorded this because then I can play it back on a bad day.
Oh, wish you could, eh?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to push record and you can say it again
Oh,
if you
okay.
remember it. Remember.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to record that Elsa, you have been a mother um, in a very large way to many, I think. You've brought them into your sphere of teaching and learning. You've allowed them to speak with their own voice. You've adjusted things to help them out in their travel towards a better life. You have done a marvelous job from what I've seen, from my little perspective. I only have a tiny little perspective, and it involves me and my family. But what you've been able to do has made great strides against evil in the world as I have seen it come into being. And so, God bless you. You've had a vocation and it's been noticed and appreciated. Thank you for being there in the broken times. You've been there. Thank you.
It is something, in fact, important to me to be able to help others. And I think it is so frustrating that people feel utterly powerless. And I think the important thing is not to say, I'll save the world. It's 8 billion people. It's just too big. But if it's that I can reach, we're part of a little group, I can reach these few people, and together we can take little steps further. And then when I send out my updates, it doesn't save the world, but it's, or even today with my 3 ideas, they're different ideas, and maybe they go, yeah, there's some ways that I'm a wild card. This is really positive to think of yourself as a wild card, and that the predators don't have those wild cards. We are the wild cards. They have the very well planned sting. But a wild card could knock it down. So, you know, and I also think what you're saying is worse and worse. I like Dr. Topsy's winds of the week.
Oh, yes. He's very good at that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's like, okay, there's rotten stuff,
Very up.
but look at this, and this. It's nourishing.
Yes. Yes, and he's very open to learning too. He's studying communication. He's enrolled with someone who's helping. I looked into what he's using for mentorship, and I think it's wonderful because it's attempting to get past those blocks that are out there at this moment in time. The trainer that I think he's enrolled with, I'd have to actually look it up because he mentions that he's studying communication. But certainly it's trying to communicate past the blocks because they put their hand up, right? Like the ones that don't want to listen, they just stop the truth from going forward as best they can. Eventually it's going to break through the fingers. But
How does the water sneak through the crack?
yeah,
Or how do you get around the barrier? Drop
yeah,
a balloon on the other side.
yeah,
So, okay,
yeah. So
I'm gonna go and close our recording.
okay.
And boom. And I hope that you are going to come back, because I was going, I know it was important for you to do your own process within your own church, but that was months ago. And then you haven't come back. And I was like, I don't like pushing around someone.
Oh, okay.
And I know
Yeah.
you've written the occasional comment to something that I wrote. But I am glad to have you back.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I'll be going to visit Ian and Ash during the months of June and July, Elsa, and maybe connect with you at that time. I'll be grandma in residence when Ash's mother leaves. She's going on like trips to the Orient and all that. Fun times for her. But so I'll be in residence, like taking her place for a short period of time, and I'd love to connect at that time. Yeah.
Really good. And I see that this year it's being done very differently from last year when you sort of boomed in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't well arranged. Now it's planned in advance. They know things, and so it's like you're all meshing a lot better. There's a space for you. And also you want a grandmother, so you really want to be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this is ideal. It's ideal if you're not having 2 grandmothers. In fact, they're really going to run you off your feet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2 kids at that age.
Oh, they're quite busy. Yeah, they're very busy.
Yeah, and you'll be quite busy, but I think it's the kind of busyness that you're looking forward to having.
Absolutely. What an opportunity. And yeah, and you have had a big part in it, just allowing it to re-exist. That's so special. It's very special.
I am glad, and also it sounds like you're letting it go slowly. They have to go at their pace. You
Yeah.
can't push them to go at your pace.
Yeah.
And that if their relationship is better, maybe other things will go in a nudge or this. But then also a huge thing is being able to be the grandmother to these amazing children.
Yes, that's the major thing, Elsa, is that what a miracle. They have the support of unified parents at this moment in time. And it's quite a blessing. Really it is. Really. Like for as long as possible. May God help. Yeah, it's lovely.
Well, they may hit another roadblock, but the thing is, there is assistance available at the roadblocks.
Yes.
A really good relationship that I've mentioned all the time, it is Michael Hyatt and his wife. And they've been married going on to 50 years now.
Yeah.
Within 5 years of the marriage, he was ready for a divorce and he sent his wife to therapy. And after the second one, she came back and she said, the therapist wants to see you. And me, Mr. Perfect, I thought you were the problem. Anyhow, he went in and the therapist really touched on something. And they have gone back over and over during their now close to 50 years when they hit a roadblock.
Yes.
Like,
Well, like
we're not supposed to deal with all this alone.
I always thought that. Like it's something that to be open to learning at every stage, and every stage is different. I think it's a lovely thing. Like to think it's just going to go on roller coaster reels, like without
It's not one. If one
input.
therapist doesn't work out, find another one. It's like if
Yeah.
one university isn't right for you, or one school isn't right for you, if Waldorf isn't right for you, try Montessori. If
Right.
Montessori isn't right for you, Montessori is much more structured than that.
Right.
Waldorf is much more loose. The
Yes.
traditional one is for lunch these days.
Yeah.
So don't try that one.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
Yeah, giving up hope is the worst thing. Mind you, you do have to make choices and move on when things are like working beyond what is it? We're not meant to tend a grave. Yeah, we're not meant to tend a grave. We are meant to move on in life and enjoy it with the blessings that are available.
No. If somebody else has said no, I don't want this, then it's not a healthy thing to say, I'm going to make you stay.
Yeah.
To become like, if you've ever watched or read, I read David Copperfield, in the opening scene, there's a woman, ancient woman, who walks in, and there are cobwebs all over her place, and there's a wedding, everything is prepared for a wedding on this long
Oh my
table,
gosh. Yeah.
and there's all these cobwebs, terrible. And it's that she froze at the point when the man didn't show up, the wedding didn't happen.
Right.
She's done it, she's lost her entire life.
Yeah.
Frozen in that moment. And yes, it was devastating. Yes, it was a loss. But if she had just tried her eyes out for a few months,
yeah,
she was a beautiful young woman.
Yeah.
Do her.
Yeah. Obviously, other opportunities were available. She just had to break the bond, I guess. Break that bond, which gets tied in very strongly. Because we only have the one life here on earth. We have to do the best we can here on earth. So yeah.
I brought that up because I was thinking about you.
Oh.
And I don't know what's happened between you and your ex, but my assumption is that he has not come around.
The point that I'm at now is I have the civil papers that he pushed through, but now I'm working on the annulment papers in my own community. They're in process. They will be held in abeyance while I'm out west. The deacon in charge of my case has phoned me and he said, just in case they want to call me to the witness stand, it's a court process, believe it or not. They're not going to do anything on this over the 2 months I'm grandma in residence. But when I get back in August and September, I'm promised that they will pay some attention to the case. so it stands.
Well, excellent.
I've got the it's really weird.
Movement.
Like I've got the documents also. It's really weird. I've got them here, but it's very, very strange. It says my case is I have a sole judge. His name is Adrian Lee, with all of his letters behind him. Then there's a defender of the bond, which
Valerie,
is
Valerie, I
yeah.
have to be
Oh,
doing
Connor.
something
Okay.
else, but I'm
It's
so
it's
glad
a mystery.
Valerie here
It's
is.
a mystery.
You are moving as fast as you can.
Yeah.
All is done. You are going ahead with this. This is what makes emotional sense to you, what is right for you, and you are doing this, which is wonderful, and that's what I'm hearing. But I have to be doing something else because
Yes. Okay. All these technical details, and they are technical. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to do them, and you are doing them. So I'm so wonderful, wonderful to hear from you. I'm really, really glad, and you're looking really great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling good. Um, Mind you, I'm looking to fill that Maslow area in the triangle of needs. Like I will always be wondering how that goes. So I'm in process. Yeah.
All of us, if we're not dead, we're in process. This is my
Yeah, we're in
feeling.
process.
You're going to be taking the next step. You're in process.
I'm in process. It's the next baby step. It's all I understand at this moment in time. And so it's the way I'm headed. Doing my best. That's about all. Yeah.
Say hello to Ian and Ash for me.
Will
And
do.
have a fantastic time being Brahma in residence.
I will love it. Thank you, Elsa.